We are yet again in our Minecraft world to read some Reddit stories. We will continue discovering the caving system. Anyways, here is the first story. Am I the asshole for refusing to delete my son's Roblox account, even though my husband wants me to? Hi Reddit. I, 38 female, need some perspective, because my husband, 40 male, thinks I'm in the wrong here. My son, 10 male, plays Roblox for about an hour each night before bed. His day is packed. School, homework, sports, and some leisure time. The Roblox session is the one time he really gets to unwind, and he keeps it very controlled. He doesn't play for hours, doesn't skip homework or sports, and knows he has limits. I work from home, so I'm around him throughout the day. I know exactly what he's doing. I monitor his schedule, and I make sure he balances school, sports, study, and playtime. When he plays Roblox, I sit next to him and watch my TV show, so I can supervise him while enjoying some downtime. The conflict comes from my husband. He is extremely concerned about predator activity on Roblox, the situation and all, and that some countries have banned Roblox and ongoing lawsuits, and thinks our son should not be allowed to play at all. He argues that even with parental controls, the risks are too high. I refuse to delete the account because parental controls are enabled. I've restricted chat, friend requests, and purchases, making his account very safe. He's responsible with his time. It's only 1 hour, and it doesn't interfere with his school or activities supervised play. I sit right next to him while he plays and monitor everything. It's a way for him to relax. After a busy day, this is his only downtime. Every time I bring this up, my husband insists that any exposure to Roblox is too risky, even under parental supervision. I feel like I'm being reasonable, and deleting the account would punish him unnecessarily. So, am I the jerk for refusing to delete his Roblox account, even though my husband thinks I am? Consensus. Not the jerk. Commenters say it's the most responsible way to teach their child about being online, and he's got to learn it somehow. Update 2 days later. Hi Reddit, OP here again from the Roblox /Am I the Jerk post. So, my husband actually read through a bunch of your comments. At first he was stubborn, but after seeing how many people said supervision plus limits are the key, he agreed we should at least try a middle ground instead of deleting everything. We decided to talk to our son about online dangers, like don't give out info, don't trust strangers, tell us if something weird happens. He nodded very seriously. Many comments suggested my son sit with him and understand the world, and honestly, my husband did try that. My son went, "See, Dad, you grow a garden, seeds like Ember Lily and prismatic ones earn you the most profit. Then instill a brain trot, tralelo tralala," and something else he told us. My husband just sat there confused. None of those words made sense to us. He was so confident, though, explaining it like he was a professor giving a lecture. My husband didn't want to kill the moment, so my husband just went, "Ah, okay, I get it now." Spoiler, he did not get it at all. Now my husband actually sits with him during Roblox time. Our son is thrilled to narrate everything. "Look, Dad, I just stole his brain trot." Meanwhile, my husband looks like he's watching an alien language stream. In real time, I sit there with my show and just laugh quietly. So no, we still don't understand Roblox. We're just two clueless millennial parents trying to decode brain rots while our kid lives his best life. But at least now, we're approaching it together, instead of arguing. Thanks Reddit for pushing us in the right direction. This is such a wholesome resolution to what could have been a huge argument between parents. I love how they turned it into a bonding experience. even though they have no idea what's happening in the game. A girl complimented me today and I almost cried. I, 23 male, was in a tough spot before the end of last year. It was not like something disastrous happened. I had a job that is stable and extremely well-paying compared to my peers around the same age. I was in depression, had severe social anxiety, and lost my will to do anything at all. Almost lost my job because of that. I decided to help myself at the end of January. I first started by doing small changes to my routine, like waking up early, finishing basic work early morning, not eating junk, skincare routine, and then started hitting the gym. It has been 3 months now, and I also started seeing a therapist this month. There was a girl I frequently saw when I went to the gym. I go there early in the morning, as my job is work from home, so there were not many people when we were there. Considering it's a relatively small gym, she's a very good-looking and fit person, and I could not take my eyes off of her. I felt like a creep after a few times and just stopped looking, to be honest. Today, I was at the gym early again, and there she was. I started doing warm-ups, and she approached me. She said she sees me frequently here and surprised how diligently I come to the gym. She also said, "Your body looks great, thanks to newbie gains, now compared to 3 months ago." I was extremely surprised and almost teared up. I thanked her, and we had some small chat about gym routines, diet, and so on. She asked for my Instagram, and I gave it to her. She said, "Have a good workout," and left. I sobbed after returning back to home. I did not know getting a small compliment on my effort would make me feel like that. I do not have any ulterior ideas. I am pretty sure she is just being nice to me. I wanted to post it here to get it out of my chest and maybe give hope to those who were like me 3 months ago. Update. 23 days later. I think I did it. Next day we had lunch together and was set for a dinner following day. I was afraid I would mess it up due to my random social awkwardness. But thankfully nothing happened. I just imagined myself talking to a friend instead of a girl. We've been talking nonstop, going to gym together, and having dates. Yesterday we had a quick talk about exclusivity, and I told her I am dating one person at once. She said it also applies to her, and we became exclusive, I think. Never have I thought I would date such a pretty girl. I still think she is out of my league, but I will make sure that this feeling does not hinder the relationship. Thank you for your advice and comments in the original post. Honestly, this story hits different because it shows how much a simple compliment can change someone's life. I'm really happy for him that he took the chance and didn't let his anxiety hold him back from finding happiness. 48 hours in, to learning my wife was on the path to a full-blown affair. Needed to write this somewhere as I feel like I have nobody to talk to at the moment. Forgive me if I ramble. This October will mark 27 years of marriage. We have 2 kids. Daughter lives at home with us, recently married, while waiting for her husband's deployment to the Air Force. Our son is a Marine and lives on the opposite coast. We've had a rough patch for probably the last 6 months that is mainly based on me having ED. To be blunt, my wife wants a lot of intercourse, and there's only so far I can go. Tried multiple pills, and nothing has worked. Tried to get creative, but for her, it's not the real thing. She was becoming more and more distant, and actually lashing out at me saying I didn't love her anymore, or I wasn't attracted to her. I've had my own struggles dealing with ED, and I did turn her down sometimes because I feel horrible about how it all goes down, knowing she is not fully satisfied. My wife is on social media quite a bit and posts a lot. Nothing crazy, but we're different that way. I like to read what my friends are up to, but don't post a lot while she is constantly posting. For a couple of months, she started posting a lot of pictures of herself, which typically get a lot of her friends telling her how beautiful she is. I noticed a guy was all over her posts, but figured, hey, some guy probably has a crush on my wife, but my wife would never engage in anything like that. So, the last few months, my wife started becoming more distant while getting upset with me and suggesting I was the one not giving her enough attention. With the whole COVID thing, she's not working, and I'm working full-time at home. I figured this was a case of the stress of everything going on, but made an effort to engage even more with her. I would come out of our office as much as possible during the day and come down to talk to her. She was clearly shutting me down and pushing me away at that point. We had a huge blow-up where she laid out everything she's unhappy about. I'm not giving her what she needs. She needs to feel closeness. She needs more intimacy. Longer discussion led to her saying our current intercourse life was a big problem, and she craves so badly what no longer works in me. I feel awful, but don't know what else to try. So to try and get to where things went completely sideways, 2 nights ago we're talking, and her phone goes off. I was right next to her, and it was a Facebook Messenger message from a guy, the same guy who was heavily engaging with her on Facebook. It pops up right in front of us. Miss you. Thinking about you, I'm like, what the hell is that? She starts by explaining that he's just a friend that she knew growing up, and he reached out on Facebook. They knew each other's families, so it really is nothing. What proceeded to happen throughout the night was unwinding a series of lies where I'd learn more and more. They'd been talking for months, but just reminiscing about family and childhood stories. Then it went to she was telling him she is struggling in her marriage, but she swears that was it. I pushed for her to come clean, and it went further. They were exchanging fantasies about what they do to each other. She was breaking down, saying she just needed intercourse so bad. And again, we have intercourse in the sense that we do as much as we can without penetration. She finally says, I have to go out. I promise I'll be back. But I know this is horrible, and I need to think. I almost lost it as she was walking out and said, please don't leave me. But I bit my tongue. I figured she was going to call a friend or something. I'm talking a girlfriend here. In maybe a bad move, it hit me that, what are the odds she is talking to this guy? And I went to the Verizon site and looked at her phone logs. Sure enough, it showed a number she had a 30-minute call with, right after she left. I started doing every bit of research to find out who it was. It was getting really late, and I was super concerned about why she wasn't coming back. I texted a few times, but she didn't answer. Eventually, I get a text around 2 a.m. that she's coming home. When she got home, I asked what she had done. She told me she went to see one of her girlfriends. And I said, who did you call? She said she called her girlfriend. I know her friend's number, because our families are friends. So, I said, I know, you made another call. She looked shocked, and I said, just come clean. She said, when she left, she called him to tell him what was happening. I pointed out that she has been continuously lying throughout the night. So, at that point, so came out with all of it. So throughout the night and into the dawn, it all came out. She said they haven't had intercourse yet, but they were to the point they were planning. And she said it was definitely going to happen. I asked her multiple times throughout the night if it was going to stop, and she was invested in us. Every time I got a non-committal answer. She's confused. She feels lost. She told me that she wouldn't talk to him at one point, but he reached out to her the next day, and they spoke for about 20 minutes. Sorry for rambling. I don't have the first clue what to do. I really have no one to talk to. It's so weird that she is looked at as a pillar of our community, and I'm just the quiet, hard-working husband. If you were to be told that there was an affair going in between us, I guarantee everyone that knows us would want to know what the hell I've done. Maybe that doesn't matter. But again, it's just feeling like I can't turn anywhere. I don't even know how to wrap this up. I'm in so much pain. Like I can feel physical pain from this. My chest is hurting, and I feel so sick. If you read this far, thank you. I don't know what to do. Bro, that is so messed up. I can't believe she's blaming his ED for her basically planning to cheat. That's a whole new level of messed up. He was actually trying to work on it, and she just completely checked out and went looking for validation elsewhere. Anyways, here's the next story. My fiancé settled for me, and I don't know if I should go through with the wedding. My fiancé is way out of my league. She's a legit 10 from looks to personality, just beyond what I ever thought I was capable of convincing to date me. Never mind marry me. The reason why has always been in the back of my mind, and unfortunately last week I got the answer. I overheard a conversation she had with her sister about me. I had just come home, and I guess she didn't hear me come in. The conversation was long, but she basically confirmed that she is marrying me because I'm your typical nice guy you settle down with. She said I adore her, and it's best to be with someone that puts you on a pedestal. She also basically confirmed that she had much more wild sex with the other guys she's dated, but she'd had her fun, and I was just fine in that area. So, later that night, I tell her that I overheard her, and I said that I was concerned that she was settling for me. And she didn't totally dismiss it. She said she loved me, of course, and knew she wanted to marry me early on, because I was the type of guy you marry. Now, I didn't take this well. I don't want to be someone that you settle for. I want to marry someone that is as crazy about me as I am about her. So I tell her that, and also that she is too good to settle. She should have a person that she is crazy about, and that puts her on a pedestal. So I tell her to take some time to think about if I am really what she wants, and she breaks down in tears. She apologizes for saying that to her sister, that she didn't mean it, and she went on for a while. I eventually caved and apologized. We hugged, and eventually had sex, which was actually the best sex we've ever had. And for the past week, she has basically been all over me. I love this girl, but how is she going to feel about me in 10 years if she is not head over heels for me now? Am I making too much out of this? How should I handle this going forward? Edit. I do want to add that she never said she settled for me. That's something I inferred. She used settle down, which is different. She's only 27, and like I said, she is a 10 and could get someone else at any time. Update, 4 days later. Thanks for all the comments on my original post. There were way more than I expected to get, so I figured I would give an update. My fiancée got out her old phone last night, which is the one she had when we first started dating, and showed me the texts she sent to her sister and her friends about me. They made me feel a lot better. After our first date, she texted her sister, "I'm going to marry this one." There were a lot more, including some not safe for work ones to her friend after the first time we had sex. Those were more relief that the sex was good. There was no over-the-top praise, but she was complimentary, so I guess I will take it. There were a lot more texts on the phone. She had it for a few years before she met me, And there were plenty of texts about other guys as well. I read those too, and didn't see much gushing about any of them. Most of her wild times happened in college, I guess. I know she loves me and has from the start. So for me, I think that is enough. I think this guy was overthinking things because settle down and settle for are completely different phrases. It's actually really sweet that she showed him the old texts to prove she's always been sure about him from day one. I, 32F, want to break up with my boyfriend, 54M, for a younger guy. For the sake of protecting both our identities, I'll refer to my boyfriend as John, not his real name. John and I met at work. He was my office manager for several years. About 3 years ago, I went through a really rough breakup with my ex, and my mental state was very poor. John could see how upset I was at work, even though I did my best to leave it at home. I didn't really want to be the latest office gossip, so when he started offering his office for me to work in private, I was super grateful. Sometimes he would also be there, but he was often needed elsewhere, so I wasn't too concerned about the other type of gossip forming. Over time, John and I grew a close bond, and after a few months, we started going out for drinks and food. I guess you could say we began dating. The age thing was always in the back of my mind, but those first few months were really good, so I didn't think too much of it. He was kind, funny, caring, and just seemed like a really great guy. After several months of dating, John made the decision to transfer offices to avoid any conflict of interest or potential problems with the company. Not long after, we moved in together. That's when the problems started to reveal themselves. At first, it was small, stupid things like he'd insist I stop watching my favorite TV shows because they were childish and stupid. I would laugh and say he didn't get it because he's old, and we'd make a joke of it. The thing is, though, he wasn't joking. This became a constant thing, and it began to weigh on me until I decided to just stop watching. Next up was my clothing choices. He accused me of dressing like I was in my 20s, like I was wanting to attract a young guy. So I started dressing older and more appropriately. He started making me feel bad about my friends, accusing them of being childish and boring. He would go out of his way to ask them questions about philosophy and politics, and then berate them for not knowing the answers. My friends confessed they didn't like being around him because he made them feel belittled, which is exactly how he often makes me feel. I hardly see them anymore, but I don't blame them for wanting to distance themselves. I used to have a lot of independence in my life, hobbies, friends, and fun. Now it seems all I ever really do is what John wants to do, most of which are things I find absolutely mind-numbingly dull. Whenever I push back and try to do what I want, he'll shut me down, making me feel tiny and stupid for suggesting it, often using his age as a way to say, I know better than you. And that's been my life for the past couple of years, up until recently. Enter Mark. Again, not his real name. The new guy at work who's incredibly fun to be around. He has amazing energy, charisma, and bundles of charm. He and I get on like a house on fire. We share a lot of the same hobbies. He's only a couple of years older than me, and he makes me laugh in ways I haven't laughed since I was a kid. The kind of goofy, uncontrollable laughter that makes your sides hurt. I find myself thinking about Mark a lot. I look forward to going to work to hang out with him. I get butterflies in my belly when I'm around him, and I feel a genuine warmth when I'm with him. To be clear, nothing romantic has happened between Mark and me, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want it to. John was there for me when I really needed someone. Maybe I'm the problem for not strongly advocating for myself. I've always been a people pleaser, I can't even tell what's real anymore. If I'm being selfish or childish or getting swept up in the fantasy of it all, I could really use some advice here. She's not wrong for wanting out. Her boyfriend's behavior is controlling and condescending, and the relationship sounds more like a cage than a partnership. Still, she should end things cleanly before pursuing anyone new, because trading one emotional escape for another will just repeat the same unhealthy cycle. 19M, annoyed with cheating 25F. So about 1 year ago exactly, I met this girl online through, let's say, a video game. She and I hit it off pretty decent. Just joking, Josh, friendly chatting. She makes a few moves on me, but I kind of brush them off. Eventually, one night, we get into dirty talking, full-on 50 Shades kind of stuff. And eventually, in a few weeks, we get on Skype and do the nasty. Naturally, over time, we get in a relationship, and she tells me she loves me. So, I'm excited, horny, and totally ready to be in this relationship with a 25-year-old that looks smoking hot. Or so I thought. After a few months, I'm about to start a new job. She messages me randomly. Lo and behold. After all these years of laughing at people for being fooled on the internet for being catfished, I have been catfished. She calls me bawling, telling me, I just wanted something good for once, and you were it. At this point, I was emotionally into this girl. So, looks and no looks. I didn't give a crap. I told her I loved her, and she turned out to not be hideous and ugly, so it didn't bother me. She was bigger, but she told me when we first started dating, she was going through chemo, so she gained weight. Months pass, and I kind of get over it. But what bothers me is the lying. A lot of the times we talk sexual. I'm a virgin with no real experience. Granted, I've been offered a lot of sexual favors consistently, but I decline it. Not trying to type up an ego act like I'm the hot thing, but it happens I'm young, not exactly ugly. So drunk girls kind of throw themselves at me, which I kind of find disgusting. Anyways, back to the point, I find out a lot of things about her. At one point, she dated another guy online. He was Swedish. The difference was she flew him out twice, bought him shit, supported him financially, treated him like a king. Oddly enough, she even had a threesome with her ex of 5 years together. She had his miscarriage, was about to get married till he got in an accident. She told me she was over both these guys. But let's say for story's sake, the Swedish guy is XA, and the other 5-year guy is XB. So slowly she starts telling me things she used to decline. I would ask, have you ever had a threesome with 2 guys? No, never. Slowly she says, well, once with XB and another guy. But I only let XB actually put it in me. I only gave head to the other guy. Being the jealous virgin, this lie really annoyed me. Because not only a few months ago did she catfish me, but now she's lying about things like this. So, I got more annoyed. Come to find out later, she admits to me she used to be called Head Monster in high school. Her number of guys she's given head to be exact is 22. Again, I'm emotionally into her, so I don't really care. She's with me now. And that's what matters, right? Or so the annoying voice in my head disagrees with. Look, I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm jealous that she does all that kind of stuff for other guys, and me being in a relationship for over 1 year now, haven't even seen her naked pisses me off. This part will be specifically dedicated to the chemo, which I barely touched on. She has had cancer before, and I have sat through painful nights listening to her bawl, cry. At one point, the doctor said her chances of survival are slim, but she is doing better. And she did just finish chemo. Am I making the same mistake I made at the start? And just blindly trusting her? I used to tell all my friends, cam verify, before doing anything. but I think I made the mistake of getting emotionally invested and letting myself get lost. Another major detail I'd like to add is Facebook. Oh, how many arguments we've had over it. She talks about Facebook all the time, tells me this and that, but she refuses for some reason to add me. She refuses to add me on Facebook. She doesn't want me to see embarrassing photos. I've shown you my full nude body on cam. You've added your exes. You've gotten naked and blown guys in bathrooms. You must be drunk at a party. Yet me, a guy you've dated for over a year, and you claim to love. You say you're not going to add on Facebook because of photos, or the fact you don't want to explain me to your friends and family. She once got naked in this website for a bunch of people on that video game we both played and had lesbian foreplay. All of this, and something else to add. Not ranting, I just want the full details so you guys can understand my perspective. She also wants us to force our kids into church, if we ever have any. I know I'm 19, but that hypocrisy annoys me. She can blow 22 guys, have same-sex intercourse, threesomes with 2 guys who she's not married to, but then force her kids into church? In my opinion, if religion is your faith after you do your own research, good for you. Long story short, she's been busy the past week. I haven't heard from her. I have male urges, and I'm not going to cheat on her. But emotionally and sexually, I'm lonely now, and her ignoring me, while she tells me of how she treats her exes like kings, has made me jealous and resentful. We have been together for over 1 year. She tells me she loves me more than she loved XB. But she won't even show me herself naked once, but has told me one time at party she got drunk and blew 2 guys off at once with another girl in a bathroom when she was 17. The jealousy, anger, and resentment due to the time I haven't gotten to talk to her is making my blood boil, to the point where I have called out sick of work tomorrow because I know I'll be an angry mess. Reddit, what do I do? He's young and clearly caught between lust, loneliness, and wanting to be the good guy, but he's ignoring every red flag waving in his face. She's manipulative, dishonest, and keeping him hooked through guilt. He needs to walk away and learn from this before it damages his self-worth any further. Anyways, here's the next story.